Now remember today, Mincha will be at 8:15. Tomorrow morning, we're davening at 6, 6:50, and 7:50. Now for a quick Devar Torah. This week's parsha begins with Moshe once again davening to Hashem so that he could enter Eretz Yisrael. He even says, listen, I don't have to be the leader. I just want to be one of the people. I just want to enter the land. And Hashem again tells him, Moshe, I've told you this over and over again. The answer is no. Sometimes when we daven to Hashem and it seems that he doesn't listen to us, he is listening, but sometimes the answer is no. For whatever reason, Hashem has his reasons. We can't fathom them. Hashem sometimes has to say no to us. But I think one of the prime reasons, besides that Moshe, the story goes that Moshe wasn't allowed to enter because of the sin of hitting the rock and not just talking to it. But another consideration on a different level is, remember, Moshe was the leader par excellence of the Jewish people. We never had a leader like him before or after. Every leader, he was the leader. And the problem is, even if he just was in Eretz Yisrael, I'm no longer the leader, Yoshua is the guy. Everybody would undermine Yoshua's leadership. The fact that his mere presence would undermine Yoshua's leadership, because they'd go to Moshe and say, did you hear what Yoshua did? Do you agree with that? And Hashem realized, and well, not just Hashem, but it's a realization. You have to know when to walk off the stage, and really walk off the stage. In the late 70s and early 80s, there was a chief of staff of the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, named Rafael Eitan, and he was considered one of the better chiefs of staff. One of the things that he instituted while he was chief of staff was that on Shabbat you could go to him, as a common soldier could go to him, had a problem in the army somehow, and would get to Rafael Eitan, or Raful as he was known in the army, and say, this is the problem I'm having. I'm having this problem. And Rafael Eitan, as chief of staff, would look into it. If the complaint was justified, he would take action, so that any soldier, no matter how low, could go to the top guy. After he left the army, after his term of service was over, he put a big sign in front of his house that said, the chief of staff no longer lives here. In other words, I'm not in charge. Go to the next guy. I am, he basically knew, I have to step aside. I cannot take part in the things going on because it will undermine and undercut. I think it was Moshe Vechetzi, who was chief of staff after him. He was called Moshe Vechetzi. Forgot his full name, but Moshe Vechetzi means Moshe and a half because he was very tall. Moshe Levi, thank you. But the point is that Rafael Eitan realized it was time to step off the stage. One of the things about the United States that we're extremely lucky about was that George Washington died within a year or so of his leaving office. Because remember, he was, again, a leader larger than life to the average person. And the next leaders were always being compared, you're no George Washington. Well, now George is gone. George Washington's gone. So one of the things that Hashem is basically saying in the Torah is, yes, Moshe was the greatest leader ever. He's gone. It's Yoshua now. He's in charge. And we can't undercut the current leader because of somebody previous. He has the authority, no longer Moshe. Something to think about, Kadosh Rabbanim.